Okay, hi, this is Michael Ellis. Okay, I have an invention that could help a lot of people. It's um it's kind of in the experimental stage, but I don't know. It's really important. So I kind of want to get it out there. Because I um I don't know. It can save lives. Basically, is kind of what I am getting at. Um because it can keep people alive in some desperate situations, if properly applied. And so I submit this, just full disclaimer. I submit this as something fully experimental because I can't guarantee that it will work 100% as I claim it will. Um, I'm just submitting it as an experimental design, um, saying that I don't necessarily have it tested in all situations, that it will or that it will genuinely work, um, as I think it does. But this is just my testimonial, really, that I think this is working this way, and other people need to. This isn't peer reviewed or anything. This is just my own experiments, and it hasn't been replicated by anyone yet because I originated it. So I leave it up to other people to reproduce it, to test it out, to see if it works for them, and if it does work for them, then more power to them. Excuse the pun, and it could actually help people, if we get it working right, um, as I think it will work, for other people. Um, I think it is working for me. I don't know. It could be a more of a placebo type of effect. So I lost my infrared thermometer, so I can't actually measure heat changes, as I think it would work. But so anyways, here goes. So what I think I have is an Orgonite environmental conditioning unit, but for short, Orgone Heating and Cooling, or the ORHAC. Okay, this is based on a principle of auto resonance. So basically, what it does is when you hook up a like an electronic component to Orgonite, or when you hook up anything to Orgonite, it like resonates at its like key frequency, or at its operating frequency. So in this case, I've hooked up diodes to a block of Orgonite, as you can see in the picture right there, and or as you can see over here more practically. Actually, I physically have cast diodes into Orgonite. So what I'm trying to accomplish here is to actually create temperature differences in the environment at the actual like radio etheric, microwave, whatever you want to call it, level. So so depending on which way the current is flowing through the devices in relations to the orgonite. So I wouldn't call it current as in electrical current, but I would call it more etheric energy, or just energy in general. Orgone maybe, I don't know. Um, but it tends to differ based on how you hook up the circuit. You could call it eloptic energy or orgone if you want. It's basically the same thing. I don't think it's electrical energy. It's somewhat infrared, somewhat ultraviolet, and it's pre-light energy, meaning it's like a solar energy. When you have it hooked up like in a certain way, it tends to be more like like a radiant energy, like Tesla had spoken of with his radiant energy experiments, like a penetrating, kind of like a uncomfortable energy, unless you get it hooked up the right way. So so basically, there are two different modes that work and actually do something. And there's a third mode that's uncomfortable. And unfortunately, I spent a lot of money casting the uncomfortable ones. So that I know, those are basically trash now. But um, but my device here, I did it intelligently. I made it so you could actually change the configuration. So it's not a waste of money. So there are two modes. There's the cold or cooling mode, in which you hook up according to the. Okay, so here's a little like a little micro class in diodes. Okay, so a diode is basically a piece of or two pieces of silicone welded, well, not welded, but bonded together. So you have a P, or like a positive doped silicone, and you have an N, or a negative doped silicone. And these are silicone that are grown with other materials or other atoms in them, giving them a certain electrical charge, so they can only act. So they act like a gateway to electricity, so like a check valve sort of thing. And as you can see in their diagram picture, this actually represents that pretty well. So that you have the positive side, which is the triangle, and you have the negative side, which is the line. So that's the cathode, negative, line, anode, positive, triangle. And as you can see, the triangle indicates the direction that the current flows through. And we're talking positive current, not electron, or non-electron current. So so the cold way is cooling, and that's when you hook up two of the negative sides together, or positive sides. Well, actually, that's not positive. That's actually negative. Two of the negative sides together. I wrote that down wrong. Let me fix that quick. Two of the negative sides together. And then you have a hot mode, which is one positive and one negative side. Okay. Oh, I did that right. Okay. Okay, never mind. Which is one negative and one positive mode. Okay, so okay, let me start over again. So anyway, so this brick, I put a bunch of diodes in, some one way, some the other way. As you can see here, I have two one way, two the other way, and then this I didn't cast very well. Two one way and two the other way. So basically this is how it is. So you can see that we have two that have the negative pointing out. If we bond those two together with like a connecting wire, you get the cold effect, or the cooling. Two of the negatives together, you get the cold or the cooling, because basically the current doesn't have anywhere to go, but they're resonating, and then they absorb energy from the environment. If you connect them up the other way, this other way, which is like a operating circuit, that energy can flow through them, then you get a hot effect. Or if you just connect one with both ends in the resin, you get a hot effect too. But that one's not as comfortable. So so you want to have like two of them, and then connected negative to positive, so you get like a current flowing through them. And that's the hot or heating mode, the comfortable way. And then the other modes are basically inert. They don't do anything really. Like if you have a negative to negative, it doesn't really do anything. It's just the positive to positive that does the cooling, and the negative to negative doesn't do anything much. I tried that once, and it didn't do anything for me. So so these are the main two modes to get it to work right. So and then if you don't know what an orgonite is, it's basically epoxy or resin with metal particles, like a machining swarf that's left over. People get them from sign shops and stuff, and I mix it with the resin, and then it creates the orgonite type of material. It was invented by Carl Weltz, who mixed iron filings with resin, so and crystal powder. So that's what it is. So and the diodes that I'm using here are here's one, are 10A10. Oops, here, 10A10. 10A10. So they're rectifying diodes, and that's it. So thanks for watching. This is Michael Ellis.